Hey everyone, Nathaniel Gavronsky here. I am in Tappan, New York, which is upstate a little bit, New York. I'm more kind of north of New Jersey than of New York City itself. Really interesting what's right behind me. This was the original gravesite of Major John Andre, who was the British spy slash soldier that Benedict Arnold was in communication with for his ultimate betrayal of the colonial army and the continental cause of freedom. Now, Andre is not currently buried here. They dug him up in 1821 and sent him back to England with the rest of the redcoats. But the interesting thing is this little neighborhood, as you can see, it's surrounded by houses. This was all forested in 1780. I think it was like October 2nd, 1780, when they hung him here. But George Washington stood here, not that far from here. But the fact that this little neighborhood finds it not ironic but fitting that they have a bunch of little skeletons dangling from the neck on the fence guarding the original grave of Major John Andre. And you can see just here there is for some reason or another, the family who lives in that house thinks that putting a giant, huge looking ghost that suspends to where if you come up from that hill, it almost looks like the spirit of, this is what a person living here says, that the spirit of Andre is rising up out of his original gravesite. Now, he's actually in Westminster Abbey. Now, you can go visit his grave. It's actually just a big, huge black box on the floor, and that's where his bones are at. All but one of his bones. Apparently, the person who was hired to dig him up was, after he picked up all the bones, which he thought he picked up all the bones and to ship them over, he came back to kind of finish up cleaning up, and he found one bone that had been left. It was a toe bone, apparently, and the New York Historical Society has this bone, and they have it on display every so often. I don't know why. If I ever find it, I will go see it because it's part of history. But that's odd. I think that the one bone, so Andre's still got 1 foot on American soil. But really interesting for anyone who's into American history, American Revolutionary history, and British history for that aspect. It's a very interesting dichotomy how people on both sides felt about Andre compared to how both sides felt about Benedict Arnold, where Benedict Arnold got no respect from either the Continental Army nor the British regulars, who he so aspired to join, and Andre, who was actually the real true lover of Benedict Arnold's wife, Miss Shippen, was loved and admired by both sides, and trial by jury, and he was convicted of a crime against the Continental Army, and the sentence was pretty much determined by the crime itself. So there was no really getting out of it, no parole, no pardoning. I mean, it was treason against the Continentals. So they hung him, but they didn't really enjoy it per se. It's talking with people that have deep-rooted history to these areas that most people really seemed to have a bit of affection towards John Andre, and that's why they have maintained this site, even though he is no longer here. He hasn't been here since 1821, and it's without this little fence and this little monument, you would never know that a spy was working with the greatest of all traitors in American history, Benedict Arnold, was killed here by hanging. Anyway, I'll do a better video about this some other time. I'm just kind of scouting out right now, but since it's Halloween area and they have this irony here, I had to do a little quick video about it because yeah. All right, guys, I'll catch you around. I gotta do a few other scouting missions. before it gets too dark. All right, peace out.